Welcome to Ridge Life. I'm Tim, and today on the Ridge, it's time for a game changer. That's right, Old Blue is getting her backhoe attachment today. Let's get it and put it to use. I'm with John from Twin Hills Equipment here, and he's going to go over some of the features of my new backhoe attachment for my Workmaster 55 tractor. Sorry I lost my voice. I got terrible allergies right now, so I'll let him do all the talking.
Okay, so the way we plumbed it, these remotes right here go to your mid-mount valve. You look up under here, it's these two newer hoses right here, and it runs up to here. So it'll run without hitting your remote or anything, just like your loader will. Now, when this is connected, and you're connected to these remotes, your 3-point hitch will not work. 3-point hitch will not work, and then your other remote, your hydraulics won't work, you know. These are kind of in the way. You can keep them. What I would tell you to do is I'd probably take off this manual holder right here. I'd probably take that off. It's just kind of getting in the way because this seat can move up or down. It's just getting tight right there. So this is a return line right here. It's pretty important. This, when you take this off, when your backhoe is off, it needs to be in the top one.
On the P line, yeah.
Yep, it needs to be, so your 3-point will work and your other remote will work.
Gotcha.
That's probably the most important thing I'm gonna tell you. Safety features, these are your pins for all your safety features. I took them all out just so we can run them, but this short one is gonna go right there. I got, you know, hook them up. The long ones will go, you know, go through there on both sides, and I definitely travel with those. That's probably the only time you're ever gonna have those in there. You know? What else? Oh, when you take it off, I'll show you how to take it off. We don't need to take it off today. I don't want to hook it back up.
I agree.
Definitely put down some plywood, because if this is on any grass or anything, it will sink into the ground after a rain or you hadn't used it for a month, and it will be a lot easier if you just keep it at the same level when hooking back up. What else we got? This came off your tractor. Just when transporting it, I figured it'd be better back here, but yep. Operating it shouldn't get in your way, but if you want to, it can. You want to run it?
Yeah, let's do it.
Crank that tractor.
What RPM should we run it at?
I just turned it up a little bit right now.
Now, what RPM should I run it when we're using it?
Probably around 2,000.
You said the manual's right there,
yeah,
right?
I'd read that actually.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, so here are your riggers. I definitely put them down before you got on it. We will go down at the same time. You want to hop up there?
Yeah.
So the seat does adjust. I'll show you that. All it is a pin. And then from there, I mean, obviously your pins have to be out, which they are. Those are your safety pins. From there, it's just, you know. And it'll move faster with those RPMs up.
Yep.
That's your boom and bucket. We'll go all the way side to side. All right, so we'll go right there.
Yep.
See, that's about it right there.
Very cool.
Besides taking it off, the fun part.
And then we'll figure out how to take this thing off.
Yeah. You're gonna need 3 points down on the ground. So that'll be your 2 riggers and then your bucket.
Yeah, so bucket on the ground,
Bucket
riggers,
on the ground,
yep.
riggers. And definitely have a piece of plywood or something underneath it, you know. I just get a piece of plywood to just designate for it. I think over here for the best view. So this mount's gonna stay on all the time. And all you have to do, all it is that pin. You pull that out. I'm not gonna do it right now, but I mean, that's it right there. All you gotta do is pull that pin out and then just drive forward.
So yeah, so pin on each side.
Pin on each side.
And then drive forward. Well, I'm looking forward. I'm gonna use it today.
Are you?
Oh yeah. I got a big old pine stump I need to get up. I had a stump bucket grapple and I just couldn't get it out with it, so this will do it. I got trenches, I got water lines, electrical lines. I'm building a house, so I'll be. I don't know if I'll get $13,000 use out of it, but I'm gonna try over the next 20 years.
Well, this is the first one I've sold. I had a lot of questions about a lot of them, so it's good to finally put the hand
Cool.
on.
Well, I appreciate you.
Absolutely.
Thank you, John.
Yes, sir.
Yep. Twin Hills Equipment. Go check them out. By Hill, Mississippi.
That's right.
And I'll say it again later when I got a voice. Again, I apologize for my voice. It is completely gone. But the first project we're gonna work on is this huge pine stump. This thing is this big. It used to be a giant pine tree fallen down many years ago. And the root ball on this is huge. Now I've tried pushing it over with a tractor. It just destroys the top parts here, and tried the stump bucket grapple. There's some holes in the side, but it was just too much for it. Is it too much for our backhoe attachment? Let's find out. I am slowly getting the hang of that. What's up, what's down, what's closed, what's open, what's swing, I'm slowly, it takes a while. But check out this, that's the part I grabbed with the bucket and dropped out here. You can see that's pretty darn big. And I found out that this stump goes from over here all the way to here. See, it's still, that's how big this tree was. It was actually from there all the way to there. So it was about 5 feet in diameter. So it had rotted out. It had rotten out. So up here it was probably 3 or 4 feet in diameter by 5 feet diameter at the root base. And you can see there are some big ones there, and there. And this one was much, much bigger than all of those combined. Look how deep and big I've gotten this hole. And most of this dirt here is already fallen back in. I've gotten about 3 foot all the way around. Now, of course, if this stump had been a lot taller, I could have just pushed it over the bucket a long time ago. But it's being so old and short, every time I push on top, just the top breaks off. But I want to get that root ball out of there just for, to say I've got it. Because really, I could just push the top over, fill the dirt around, we'd never know it's there. But I want to see how big that root ball is, get that sucker out of there. Doggies, that is a deep hole. You really can't fathom that from this camera. We did not get the root ball out though. The root ball is still probably another 3 feet down there. It was a huge one. And this stump, this is just a little piece, this little sliver of it has degraded and rotten over time. So it just kept breaking. Yeah, here, so that's one side of it. This is one side of it. Let's see if I can get, no, this thing's too huge to even move. Let's see if I can get it to move there. Look at that. So that was one side of that side. Of course, there's a part of it right there, part of it right there, and there's more still stuck down over there in that hole. But this hole, again, that is about, let's see, I'd say 4 feet deep, maybe 5. Woo, that's pretty deep. Let me get this hole covered up, and then we'll take old Blue up on top of the ridge and see if we can get this backhoe attachment off without any trouble. Whoo, this is a deep hole. We got it leveled out. Let's go ahead and get it cleaned up and put away. All right, that's cleaned off pretty good. Now let's see if we can take this off as easily as John said we could. Can we do it? Let's try. There we go. And the outrigger slightly on the ground. Slightly on the ground. So that should be supported right there. Let me go ahead and turn the engine off, get the hydraulics disconnected, get the pins out, and we'll drive it forward and cross our finger. Nothing moves like this. Let's get the connections off for the backhoe itself. Oh, it's under pressure right now. Okay. Oh, backwards. Goes that way. You got to know your equipment. Got to know your equipment. All right, so got those there. Put them right there to protect it. And now I got to put this on the P line so everything else can work. There we go, and I plug this hole up. There we are. Everything plugged up, connected. Make sure everything's out of the way. All right, now I should be able to get these pins out the other side. Looking at how these work, when I take this pin out right here, this is still, I can't just drive forward. This has got to drop down. It has to drop down. Maybe when I drive forward, it will push it down. I think that's what's going to happen. That'll push that down. But let me get the pin out the other side and we'll see what happens. Let's get that one out. All right, so nothing's holding it on now. And if I drive forward, that should drop down, hopefully. Not sure exactly what's going to happen here. We'll just have to see ourselves. Yeah, so that's not, yeah, maybe if I push up on the bucket. No, I bet once I got those pins out, I have to have hydraulics on it, push it down like that so it clears it, then I can drive forward. I bet that's what you gotta do. All right, I got the hydraulics connected, but those front pins out. So if I push up with this, that drops it off. There you go, just like that. I got the hydraulics off now, and the bar is dropped out of the way. I should be able to just pull forward. Slowly, make sure nothing gets damaged. Alrighty, now I should be able to raise that bar back up. So normally I can just store it just like this, but I want to test that if lowering the boom without hydraulics will raise that bar up so I can drive back on it. That's my test. All right, so that's not, nope. I'm gonna have to back up on it, get hydraulics, tilt it, dropping this will tilt that up. And then once that happens, I'll be able to drive back up on it, put the pins in it. So that's a little bit harder to connect than disconnect. I think I've got it figured out now though. Went ahead and pulled the pin and stored the seat in the up position, keep the water and sun off the seating material. I'm gonna take the manual out of here back to the Ridge crib and do some studying, because I know I did about 80% of this wrong. But it was a good learning experience. I'll read the manual, get it right next time. And I'm pretty sure that I'll back the tractor up, connect the hose, pull the boom back, which will tilt it forward, get it at the right angle. I can continue to go back and then be able to turn it off, put the pins in, do all that. So I'm pretty sure that's how it's gonna work. So hopefully you enjoyed watching me getting my new backhoe attachment. It's been a long time coming. I ordered this about 6 months ago, and it was made in Sweden. So pretty cool that I eventually got it, but it took forever to get it over here from Europe. I like it. I think it's going to be very, very functional, very, very useful here on the Ridge, and you'll see it used many, many times. Right now, it's going in storage because I got to get the box blade on there and get a bunch of dirt work done and gravel work. So guys, love every single one of you. Like today's video, give it a big old thumbs up, hit that notification bell down there in the corner. I do appreciate it. Like, share, and subscribe. It's always 100% free. And until next time, I hope everyone has a blessed, blessed day, and go Ridge Life. Woo!